Picture this: the dream of building a family shattered by exorbitant medical bills, a heart-wrenching struggle for countless Americans battling infertility. But here's where it gets exciting. President Donald Trump just unveiled a promising agreement that promises to slash the prices of key fertility treatments, potentially making parenthood more accessible than ever before. Let's dive into the details and explore what this means for families nationwide. On Thursday, President Trump shared news of a collaboration between his administration and the pharmaceutical giant EMD Serono, aimed at cutting the expenses tied to certain infertility drugs. High-ranking officials in the administration emphasized that this initiative could empower millions of women in the U.S. who are grappling with conception challenges by easing the financial burden of these vital therapies. To put it simply, IVF, short for in vitro fertilization, is a medical procedure where eggs are fertilized by sperm in a lab setting before being implanted in the uterus, offering hope for those facing reproductive hurdles. Trump had championed broader access to IVF as a cornerstone of his campaign, vowing to support couples eager to grow their families. Back in February, he issued an executive order available at https://www.whitehouse.gov/2025/02, expanding access to in vitro fertilization, to investigate strategies for lowering expenses and dismantling obstacles in the IVF process. According to a White House representative, this new agreement fulfills that commitment perfectly. In a statement from the Oval Office, Trump expressed his enthusiasm, saying, "Under the Trump administration, we're dedicated to simplifying the path for couples to welcome children, nurture them, and create the families they've long envisioned." He detailed how EMD Serono, recognized as the world's leading producer of fertility medications, has committed to offering substantial discounts on the drugs they provide in the U.S. This includes their flagship product, Gonal-F, which addresses infertility issues in both women and men by stimulating the production of eggs or sperm. Administration sources informed ABC News that a typical round of fertility medication can run anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000, yet only around 30% of households benefit from employer-sponsored insurance that covers part of these costs. Trump highlighted that EMD Serono will make these medications available online at significantly lower prices. An official elaborated that, depending on a patient's income level, the expenses for a standard IVF cycle could drop by 42% to 79%. All thanks to the negotiations' outcomes. These affordable options are set to roll out in early 2026. For context, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, reported in 2024, as archived at https://pagefreezer.com/enus/wa/browse, A7F82BB BE6E448A AE11 373D2 37842. Find by timestamp 2025-01-02 549-59Z. URL https 2f% www.hhs.gov% 2f news% 2024% 13% fact sheet in vitro fertilization IVF use across United States. HTML timestamp equals 2025-01-02 T0703Z. That a single IVF cycle might cost between $15,000 and $20,000, and could soar beyond $30,000 if donor eggs are needed. With the average number of cycles required for a successful pregnancy standing at 2.5, the total outlay to achieve conception can easily surpass $40,000 per HHS data. This deal targets just one piece of the puzzle, the medication costs, but it's a crucial step forward. In May, Trump signed another executive order pushing for most favored nation pricing, which would compel companies to charge U.S. consumers no more than their rates in other countries. This sparked an extended effort to persuade drug makers to voluntarily cut prices without needing new laws. The White House also noted that two major specialty pharmacies handling over 80% of the drug supply, CVS Specialty Pharmacy and Express Scripts Freedom Fertility Pharmacy have agreed to substantially lower their processing fees, while guaranteeing availability for all interested families. And this is the part most people miss. Or perhaps, controversially, the part that ignites heated debates. During the Thursday press briefing, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. pointed fingers at endocrine disruptors as the primary driver behind America's plummeting birth rates. When my uncle was president, our country's fertility rate hovered at 3.5%. Nowadays, it's dipped to 1.6%, below the 2.1% replacement level needed to maintain population stability. Kennedy remarked, "This poses a serious national security risk, and we're tackling the underlying issues through President Trump's MAHA initiative, which focuses on curbing exposures to endocrine disruptors, those chemicals that mess with hormones and hinder fertility." For beginners, endocrine disruptors are substances that can interfere with the body's hormonal systems, which play key roles in regulating growth, reproduction, metabolism, and development. Kennedy has been vocal about this since at least 2022, drawing on examples like a frog study involving atrazine, a pesticide that altered male frogs' reproductive systems, and suggesting similar effects might occur in humans, as discussed in his interview with podcaster Jordan Peterson. However, multiple studies challenge this narrative. A recent review in Fertility and Sterility, linked at https://non4.safelinks.protectionoutlook.com/ URL equals https://2f www.sciencedirect.com science.article PII 27082264X. Data equals 05777 Leah.Sarnoff 8tabc.col 77003898 B16 CD4 4A MF AD IRAD 911 8A 2AC 430 B5 611 86 156 07 638 962 915 48 38 B8 78.11 70 748 01 87167. A comprehensive analysis of surveys and census data available at https://protectionoutlook.com/pron. URL is equal to 3a%2first.pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov articles.pmc 10967062.f.3f. Data equals 05 to a few percent 07 7 Starnoff at abc.com 7 04 898 80 FAD.0 85 2643 BF 61680-67 0 7 63896 2529 19 30422. Unknown. 7. CTW. SHI Mine. TWA. 7. InstTI. NCBI.NLM.HIH.gov.di. ET.D.NN.NLM.NCBI.gov. ILDUIJoyFQ.3D.0. Meanwhile, a 2024 Pew Research survey found at https://name04.safelinks.protection.outlook.com. URL equals %3a2f www.pewresearch.org/social/trends/2024/the experiences of you don't have children. Data 5% 7C02 7C Leah Sarnoff at abc.com 700898 B16 CD4 B35 A9 FAD 0D 08F AD 56 B31A A2 A6 B6 113 68 1 7C 0 638-9625-91696. Unknown, 7C. WFFB, SABTH. INPEAL, 13, FAD. A9, F08. ILDUI, JOY, FQ, 3D, 3D, 7C, 7C, 7C. S data, 5W1, IJPQN. While some research, such as a paper in Scientific Reports, accessible at https://space/safelinks.protection.outlook.com. URL equals thsdf2ww.nature.com. 2 articles, 2S, 41598-025-0324. Data equals 057C. Leah Sarnoff at abc.com. 7703-898 B16CD4 35A9F98DEFAD 76B 7318A2AC4 32BF6 161819136 771 773 8539 195 3346 77 unknown 7C WFIBSSHIA by Mac and the MIS ending 73 BF2 228-181peanut.com. Old UI Joy FQ PSSTA _BSSWHEM supplement has linked higher exposure to these chemicals with diminished sperm quality, suboptimal IVF results, and heightened infertility risks in animals and humans. It doesn't establish. For instance, think of endocrine disruptors as unwelcome guests at a hormonal party, potentially causing chaos, but not necessarily the sole reason the party fizzled out. But here's where it gets controversial. Is focusing on chemical exposures the right approach, or does it distract from the bigger picture of economic and societal barriers? Some experts argue that while endocrine disruptors might play a role, the evidence leans more toward lifestyle and financial pressures as the dominant forces. Could this debate reflect deeper ideological divides, like debates over environmental regulations versus personal choices? What do you think? Should we prioritize reducing chemical pollutants, as Kennedy suggests, or address the affordability and accessibility issues highlighted in those surveys? Do you agree with the administration's efforts to cut IVF costs, or do you see this as a band-aid solution compared to tackling root causes? Share your opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take and spark a meaningful conversation.